Do you feel lost, discouraged, or surrounded by mountains of problems? What if I told you there is a Bible verse that can change your perspective and bring you peace, no matter the circumstances? Stay with us until the end, because today we're going to discover together one of the most powerful psalms for finding divine protection and inner strength, Psalm 121. Psalm 121 is a deeply spiritual text of unmatched poetic beauty. This psalm is often read or recited during moments of doubt or distress, as it reminds us that God is a source of help and protection for all those who place their trust in Him. This passage is particularly cherished for its powerful message about trusting in divine providence. In this video, we'll explore each verse of this psalm, analysing its deep meanings and its applications to our daily lives. Psalm 121 is part of the Psalms of Ascents, the psalms that the Israelites would sing during their pilgrimages to Jerusalem. It is a psalm of travel, but also a hymn to divine protection, a declaration of faith in the safety provided by God. The pilgrims, making their way to the holy city, expressed their trust in God in the face of the dangers of the journey. This psalm, even today, reminds us that no matter the trials we face, God is our constant help. Psalm 121 begins with a question. I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come from? Psalm 121 verse 1. The psalmist faces mountains, which symbolize challenges or difficulties. In the Jewish tradition, these mountains could represent physical obstacles, like rough terrain, but also spiritual trials, moments when faith is tested. This is a situation we can all understand. Sometimes, life presents us with mountains of problems, uncertainties, and challenges, but the psalmist's question is not one of despair. It is an active search for divine help. The answer comes immediately in verse 2. My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. Here, the psalmist reminds us that our help does not come from the mountains themselves, nor from human effort, but from God. He who created the universe, the heavens, and the earth, possesses all the power and authority to protect and guide us. This statement shifts our perspective. The mountains, no matter how imposing they may seem, are small compared to the Almighty God. The following verses give us specific details about the nature of this divine protection. Verse 3 affirms that God will not let your foot slip, and in verse 4 we learn that the Lord will neither slumber nor sleep. These images convey a powerful idea. God is always watching over us. He never tires, never rests, and never turns his gaze away. This assures believers that they are never alone, even in times when it seems God is far away. Verse 5 also emphasizes that the Lord is your keeper, the Lord is your shade on your right hand. This image of God as a keeper shows that he actively protects us. The shade at your right hand evokes intimate and constant protection. In the hot climate of the Middle East, shade represented a refuge from the scorching heat. Similarly, God is a refuge from the difficulties and trials of life. He covers, protects, and guides us. In verse 6, the psalm continues with the promise that the sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. These words, like the previous verses, reinforce the idea that God protects his children at every moment, both day and night. It's total protection, covering all circumstances of our lives. Psalm 121 ends with verses 7 and 8, which remind us that the Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your soul. God doesn't only protect us from physical dangers, but he also protects our soul. This shows that divine protection is complete, touching both our body and our spirit. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore, concludes the psalmist. This promise of eternal protection is a deep encouragement. Our relationship with God is not limited to this life, but extends beyond, into eternity. Psalm 121 is a hymn to trust and divine protection. The message of this psalm invites us to lift our eyes beyond our immediate problems and look to God, who is our help and our strength. If this psalm has touched you and you've been encouraged by the beauty of this divine promise, don't hesitate to subscribe to our YouTube channel.